What's up, guys?
How's it going?
This is going well.
Awesome.
Hey, hello, how
So,
are you?
hey, Sarika, good to see you.
Same here, Eric.
Man,
Hello,
so
everyone.
Sarika, you want to know how happy I am?
I see that in your face.
Well, okay. I caught myself doing something today. I haven't done this in years. The second I did it, I was like, I skipped. I was going to my hallway, like going from one room to the other, and I skipped. Just so everybody knows, I am a straight heterosexual white male. Uh, I believe there are two sexes, and I skipped as a proud straight man. Uh, but, anyhow, everybody, welcome. I'm sure the call is going to get flooded today. Very, very excited to make some groundbreaking, literally revolutionary type of announcements this evening. We will probably go past our scheduled 1 hour time, pushing closer to 2 hours with all the exciting changes we have to announce tonight. Man, my heart's pounding out of my chest to tell you guys this. I've got two people on the
Morning,
call today. Hey Dan, I'm mute for me. I've got two people on the call today. One of my newly best friends, Larry. Larry, good to see you, buddy.
Great to be here. Thank you.
And then we've got Sarika. Met her and I grilled her in person in Dallas this week. She was smiling just the way she is right now as I was asking her all these questions. And guys, we are at an unprecedented time in healthcare where a regulation came out on January 1, changing the reimbursement for skin grafts by over 90%. Some of these grafts were reimbursing at $3,000 and $4,000 a square centimeter, and now the industry standard changed to $127. Now, if you go back to recordings of myself a year ago today, I said this was going to happen. Long before any legislation or policies came out, I let you guys know this was going to happen. I saw the writing on the wall and we prepared for it. What I did not prepare for, what I couldn't have known, was that I would meet Larry and Jeff and this tribal nation that would have a pass-through exemption for us to have the 2025 pricing exclusively to us in 2026 in the foreseeable future. So what that means is, first and foremost, we have a graft, and Larry's going to jump into it, that heals better than any other graft. So that's the first thing that you guys need to understand is that, and Larry will get into the coloring of the graft and the way that it's preserved to talk about the efficacy of our graft and how it is life-saving, life-changing, preserving limbs, healing wounds, preventing infection, all that good stuff. It does it better than any other graft. So the reimbursement is justified, and I'm telling you this because Larry, I told you the story when I met with Dr. Oz one-on-one in his office last year. I was talking to him about these ridiculous reimbursements, and he said, Eric, although I am against the fraud, waste, and abusers, which we are not, anybody that submits clinical data for their grafts, the reimbursement is justified based on that clinical data. So when we walk out and we talk about the clinical data first, we then say, oh, by the way, it reimburses at X. And because of our tribal relationship, we have a pass-through exemption to get that pricing in 2026, which nobody else has access to. So I brought on my good friends Larry and Sarika to talk to you guys about that. And I just want to say one thing first, Larry, before we dive in and chit chat back and forth.
Sure.
When I sat down with Jeff was in the CIA for how many years?
Long time.
Oh,
Over 20.
okay. I think he said 20 and then 20 and something else. I told everybody
Yeah.
40 years, but I think it was half and half. So I literally get grilled by a human lie detector at dinner last week. And he told me sitting down, and Larry and he are partners, business partners. Sorry, Larry, got the
No. I'm glad you said that.
yeah, business
Not
partners.
better than that.
When we sat down, Jeff, the CIA guy, he says, Eric, I had a 99% certainty that we were not going to do business together. He said, there are so many risks in this industry when it comes to anti-kickback statute, Stark law, all these different rules and regulations that are in the new contract going out to all of you today, that we've revamped to be a service agreement paying a fair market value flat fee set by Larry and his team, that you guys are all going to hear about tonight. It's still ridiculous. But he said there's a 99% guarantee, certainty that we were not going to do business together. And I asked him, I said, well, why'd you want to do business with me after that, after we had dinner? And he said, because it was your ability to adjust to our compliance standards. And that was it. That was end of story. So I want Larry and Sarika to be on here to explain this vast, I call it you all have the Willy Wonka golden ticket. You all now have the ability, after you go through, thanks to my good friend Brad Lee, who put together an amazing software company decades ago. I think it was 10 plus years ago, that will provide you all the know-how and the clinical knowledge on what these skin grafts do and what is compliant and how to talk about medical necessity and documentation. That is all in our LMS that Chris and our staff are going to go over. We're launching Lightspeed VT today. So you're going to get to go through, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reps will also get to go through the provider training as well, correct? I saw you mouth, that's correct, but I couldn't hear you. So let's make sure your microphone's working.
Working?
There we go.
All
Daddy, you okay? Okay, your eyes were like really big.
New glasses.
Okay, it made it look like a cartoon, like your eyes were magnified. But I think it was the reflection from the screen too. All right. I get distracted easily, as you guys can see, but man, we have never been more focused, more on fire, had better partners, better credible partners with just like I said, the Willy Wonka golden ticket. So this is what you're going to have the ability to do, and then I'll let Larry jump into the opportunity and what this tribe deal consists of and legitimacy of it. And Sarika, I believe you said we would have a redacted EOB by tomorrow on the 2026 pricing.
I'm trying my best to get the redacted EOB by tomorrow. If not, we're still working on it. As I told you, this is a spatial graph. It's an exception graph. But as I told you, the reimbursement, the billing is on me. You don't have anything to worry. You still get reimbursed the same price. There might be a little bumpy ride in the beginning for 2 to 4 weeks, but I guarantee you that the payment will be issued from Medicare.
Okay. Well, whenever we get the EOB from you, that'll
Yes,
just be
I
more
can
peace of
tell
mind.
you, as soon as I get it, you will have that.
Okay,
Definitely.
fantastic. Thank you. So what you all have the ability to do is walk into any doctor's office and first lead with the clinical efficacy of how this heals. And I'll let Larry get into the specifics, percentages, and all that good stuff. How this heals better than any other graft. And then we can say, oh, by the way, we have the 2025 reimbursement rates in 2026. And soon to come, Sarika will have an EOB that you will be able to show a redacted 2026 pricing that nobody else has access to. So this graft reimburses, and we'll talk about the efficacy and the reimbursement rate and all that good stuff. But Larry, if you don't mind just talking about your
Sure.
background real quickly, relationship with the company, and then we'll get into the graft and the tribe stuff.
Sure. Everybody, it's a pleasure, and thank you for your time. So I was in the Army for about 8 years. I got out about 24 years ago. Literally got into healthcare a year later, never left. I was in senior living, then I went to home health, then I went into the ancillaries and was in lab for a little while, and then molecular and genetics. And now for the last 4 years, I've been in biologics, and I love it. I love it because, yes, there's a business side to it, don't get me wrong, but there's a quality of care side too. And you could go through 1,000 distributors and you could do really well with certain distributors, but at the end of the day, you want to sell a product that really does a great job for the patients, that's very compliant. You want to be in a compliant system. So that brings the Jeff and Larry team to Eric. So I've been friends with Jeff for a very long time through my military background and through Jeff's government agency work. Jeff is very, 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 very compliant, as am I. And one of the major rules with Jeff is, and I'm just giving you a little background of why we work so well with each other. He doesn't want to be embarrassed by his friends, and he's got friends in every agency. And that leaves us on a North Star, because when we don't want to embarrass anybody and we want to always be compliant, we make that extra effort to make sure everyone around us is compliant. We believe in patient care is foremost, number one. Compliance is always there as an umbrella. And Jeff has delivered grafts when Rampart first came out a little less than a year ago. The same thing that happened is happening now. There was a fluctuation with Medicare. They never saw the graft before. They didn't even know what it was. It wasn't even paying for the first week. And it got paid, it started getting paid 36 hours later, but Jeff still delivered the graft to people because we needed to make sure patient care came first. And that's what it's all about with us. I will tell you it's not published, but this graft from the providers themselves will heal to closure and heal much better at a 30% rate than other grafts. It's just they don't bleach out the nutrients. It's going to be yellowy brown. Listen, when the graft first came out and was delivered, a provider showed me a picture. I was the one screaming at the manufacturer, "What's going on here? What's going on here?" And they explained it to me, and the results are remarkable. So other grafts might take an average of 7 to 10 applications within 12 weeks. Ours is like 3 to 5, maybe 5 to 7. And that's a real significant improvement on patient care. The Rampart graft Q4347 is owned 51% by the 17 tribal nations involved. They're very strict on no social media, no advertisement, no going beyond conversations with providers. They want it to be a very one-on-one personal conversation with the provider. There's no people creating side brochures or anything like that. And that's how we've kept it like very clean and very good. And like Sarika was saying, in First Coast in Florida, they're going to adhere to the 2025 schedule, which was $3,099 reimbursement and 43 cents. However, I believe, Sarika, correct me if I'm wrong, there is a 3,077
Yes.
reimbursement moving forward on the ASP, and that's how we're going to bill it out. They've asked, they tell us what they want to do. Once First Coast gets situated in the next 2-3 weeks, then all the other MACs are going to follow that because they have to, because they can't discriminate between the MACs when it comes to a product like this. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's Rampart in a nutshell. It's an amazing graft. It is real. We've had so much success with it up to this point. We'll continue the success. There's a special relationship between Rampart and CMS, and that's what's going to allow us to accelerate in 2026 when a lot of these other grafts are going to fall off. Eric, any questions?
Yeah, just to follow up on what you said about the max. So we are going to, for the reps that go through our Lightspeed training, this isn't going to be something that we're going to roll out lightly. We are going to, in fact, behind the scenes, thanks to Larry and Jeff, we have compliance officers that you will never see that are going to be monitoring your social medias. They're going to be monitoring things that you post and put out there to make sure that you're not mentioning Rampart, that you're not creating any marketing materials that are not approved by us. And there will be swift, what do they call, Brooke? Well, termination letters. See, that's her area. I work on all the nice rainbows and unicorns and helping people, and she's laying the axe to people behind the scenes. So we are going to make sure that you first go through that training, that Lightspeed training. That can be done this weekend. And then we will make sure that you are properly prepared to take the onboarding form and the order form to any account in the nation come Monday. And you're going to lay that on the table, and you're going to talk about what Larry just did about the 30% faster close ratio, that it's a little bit yellowy because it preserves the actual natural tissue. It's not bleached out, which kills a lot of the proteins and healing factors in the tissue, which Rampart does not do. And oh, by the way, it reimburses around $3,000. We have the 2025 rates because we have a deal with the tribe. That's how you say it. We hear anything other than that, done. We are not going to allow anybody to risk what an amazing opportunity it is because of this is a compliance-ridden industry. So,
Right.
With that being said, Larry, I am getting to my question. I just had to preface it with all of that.
Sure.
Come Monday, the floodgates are going to open. Our reps are going to be out there with their heads on straight. They're going to be compliant. They're going to be serving providers. We do not sell. We service accounts.
Correct.
Service providers. We are not marketing. We are educating. We go out there, and that is what you get paid for. And once that doctor signs on the dotted line, Larry, and we send in all these accounts to you, we're going to 10x next week. I'm just calling it. We're going to 10x
We're looking
next
forward
week.
to it.
And but it's going to be in a lot of MACs that aren't First Coast. So could maybe Sarika explain when we start submitting orders in other MACs, even though First Coast hasn't established this yet, how's that going to work? What's that look like?
Sure. And before Sarika does that, I just want to mention one thing that's very important. Jeff Davis owns Project One Medical Systems. I'm his right-hand guy on that, and we do a lot. We partner with a lot of other things, including Eric knows the technology that we have, which is pretty exciting.
Insane. And
I
the stem
actually-
cells, like
Yeah, the stem cells. So
we'll
partner
get
a
to all
lot,
that.
But I just wanted to make it very clear that Jeff is the CEO of Project One Medical Systems. I'm literally I'm up there with him, but I'm his right-hand guy. But there's nothing that, if I'm ever asked a question, there's nothing that wouldn't come through him to me. So you have full access. Obviously, you have full access to Eric, obviously, but Eric can reach me 24/7. I mean, all the time. There's no.
Yeah, I talked to you, and I think Mike was telling me when I was in the car with him in Dallas. He said, "Dude, Jeff doesn't give his number to anybody." He goes, "I don't have his number."
No, he doesn't.
I was talking to you and Jeff last night till
Yes.
midnight, 1 a.m. just making and what did I call about? I said, "Hey, this is what I'm worried about with the compliance side of things."
Right.
And you guys were like, "Nope, that's exactly how it should be." So
No, it's perfect.
we'll get into that, and you guys have reviewed our contract. What I recommend anybody do on this call, if you are new to healthcare or if you've been in healthcare, regardless, there's a new contract coming out for everybody that reflects all of our current services in a compliant manner, more compliant than it's ever been before, thanks to the guidance with Larry and Jeff and these other men in my lives that, Jeff put it perfectly, Larry. He said the more power and money you get, the less people tell you the truth. And you guys aren't afraid to tell me the truth and keep me straight.
Of course.
And that's what I needed. And we hammered out this compliant contract that you guys are all going to get. I highly recommend that any one of you take that contract, you download it as a PDF, you put it into ChatGPT, and you say, would the OIG and DOJ, is this a defensible contract for compliance in healthcare? And you're going to be shocked at what you see. Like, we will hold firm that this is the most compliant deal you will ever see because it's long-term and it's sustainable. And we've got to protect this to make sure you guys are all paid the right way now and forever. So that's my challenge to all of you when you guys get the contract. So Sarika, when it comes to the MAX, how's that going to work when we're ordering another MAX other than First Coast?
So if you're ordering anything other than First Coast, I know First Coast is doing the 2025 fee schedule. I guarantee you guys with any other MAX, be Novitas, be NGS Connects, be Palmetto GBA, it's upon me to get you guys reimbursed. If there are underpayments, it's upon Easy Med Billing to get it reimbursed at the correct rate. So I take the ownership and I take the guarantee of getting the money rightly reimbursed to you guys. Be it any MAC, whatever MAC you have. Because if one MAC pays, the other has to pay. So the reimbursement, I can reassure as a billing company that any MAC, it's going to get reimbursed at the correct rate what Rampart has to pay.
Because you've been billing for, and let me make another quick announcement. Sarika, it's not a Rampart thing. It's not a Larry or a Jeff thing. It's a tribe thing that is required for Sarika to do the billing on these graphs. Nobody else knows how to do a tribal billing.
Because Rampart is a spatial graph which needs to be built in a certain way, and we don't want our graph to be mishandled or any of the things, any numbers, if it is messed up, it will be flagged, and we don't want it to be. That's why Rampart is a spatial graph, and that's why we only give it to certain, certain providers are using that, and I'm doing it as a billing company. I'm billing only Rampart graphs.
Yep. So this is a special tribal graph that other billers would screw up. They put in the wrong amount. They wouldn't know what it reimburses for in the first place. Sarika is getting reimbursements in 7 to 10 business days. It's unheard of. And then we are getting paid bi-weekly, by the way, guys. They pay out insanely fast. So you guys will be getting paid bi-weekly on the stuff faster than anything else, which is why we are actually delaying the onboarding for OpenLoop and Tenovi. For one, they're getting their compliance and their attorneys together to make sure everything is finalized. But two, we need something that all the new hires and all of our current reps have something to, while the iron is hot, get out there and get results quickly. Service a huge gap in the market right now where providers aren't ordering graphs right now because they know they can't make any money at the $127. Nobody can eat with that. So it's got to be very important that you guys understand we are not marketing the reimbursement on this. You will lose your contract and you'll lose the most precious opportunity in the world if you market this based on the reimbursement. You've got to market it that, hey, we can fill a need to help get your patients healed quicker. And oh, by the way, it reimburses at 2025 rates. And then Sarika is going to be the only one that Rampart will allow to bill for this graft. And Sarika, do you mind covering your rates?
I do charge 4% of the of the receivables what you get from Medicare. But depending on the volume, as I had already mentioned to you, Eric, I can go down to 3%.
Okay. And I got the question from one of our top reps. What is that volume to go down to 3%? Do you do it by case, or do you have a set number?
As you was mentioning, you are looking at 12,000 square centimeters per
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
So if we hit that, I would go down to 3%.
Oh, you're saying as a company, once we send that to
Yes.
you, oh, consider that done next week. All
That
right.
is
So
knock it up
guys,
to
the rate is 3%.
Okay.
So we'll
I
start with
can put 3%. That's not an issue.
Well, we'll start with 4. I like to put I like to walk the walk, not talk it. So once we send you the business, then we can get the reduced rate to 3%. So everybody tell providers, tell prescribers, it's a 4% rate of whatever Medicare pays. So if the graft is billing out at 3,000 and 2,400 is paying out, the provider will have to pay 4% of that $2,400 paid to the doctor.
Right.
And we will tell them, as we go out there and we light a fire across America, guys, taking away skin grafts from a diabetic patient, is like taking away chemo treatment from a cancer patient. I talked about this on the podcast with Brad Lee that came out a couple days ago. I refuse to watch it. I don't like listening to myself talk, but people are telling me that they liked it. And I talked about the life-saving treatment that these grafts provide to these diabetic patients. They would literally die without it. And doctors don't want to order it because the reimbursement is too low, and it doesn't make financial sense for them to order them when they can do other alternative treatments to try to get the same results, but they're never going to get close to the reimbursement amounts. I know guys are putting a lot of questions in the chat and raising their hands and stuff. I just want to let you know, we have too many people on the call to do a Q&A today. I'm going to do a Q&A for the company tomorrow. Today is just about training, and you should be taking notes, not asking questions. I want you guys writing the whole time, listen, and then save the questions for tomorrow. Sarika, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I do have something to say. When the reps are reaching out to the providers, we are highly maintaining our compliance. As you have already, we have spoken in Dallas too, that everything is work in compliance. I would need the provider to send me the super bill once they graft the patient in 24 to 48 hours. I only have 24 to 48 hours to submit via the CMS guidelines to Medicare. So I need to make sure the reps are telling that to the providers, that we don't have, me as a billing company, I would be sending them a text message and an email to keep reminding them. But when the representative is going to the provider, they need to make sure that it is met in compliance with the CMS guidelines.
Eric, can I add something to that?
Please do.
Sarika's company is Easy Med Billing. They are not related in any fashion to Project One Medical Systems. The reason why, and I know Eric mentioned this, I just want to reiterate this, it's the 17 tribal nations that are really not even requesting, just saying, if you want to partake in this, Sarika's billing company is the one to use because she's so proficient and compliant and an expert in every sense of the word in what she does. So her application process, her onboarding form, Eric, she will get it to you because it's different from the P1 onboarding form, which is very important because every single provider practice has to be onboarded individually. She's got to get them EDI'd. She's got to get them onboarded the right way. And she'll work with everybody on every individual practice.
And Sarika, we're going to send like hundreds of accounts next week. So
that's not a problem. We are ready for it.
You have the staff ready to onboard all of them quickly?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool.
And as Larry mentioned, I will be sending my practice details template. I will be checking their NPIs, their P10s, if they are active before even shipping or before even sending a contract over. So as I told you, we work with compliance. I have to check their NPI numbers and their P10s to make sure that everything is compliant.
Got it.
So it's just a process what my company, EasyMed Billing, follows. I have to make sure everything is in compliance with the CMS, and then I would be sending out my contracts.
Got it. And speaking of compliance, this is where Larry and Jeff told me that the payment has to be per procedure. There is no compliance in paying a percentage on volume-based, federally funded tax dollars. There's zero compliance in that. I ran it across
Absolutely.
my attorneys and ChatGPT in every way I possibly could. There is no defensible argument for a commission-based revenue share when it comes to Medicare tax dollars. So I was looking at the numbers of any other graft in the country at 127, and the average commission comes out to be about 10 or 15 bucks. That's what the rest of the country is looking at right now. The flat rate payment that Larry's company has approved per procedure is $1,000 per placement. $1,000 per graft is what the reps will make as a service fee for servicing the account, not as a commission, not based on reimbursable dollars, just a flat rate payment. Regardless if it's 1 square centimeters or it's 50 square centimeters, it's $1,000. That's what happens per procedure.
Eric, may I say something?
Yes, please.
I mean, Eric said it all. Let me just add this. It's easy to make the money. It's harder to keep it if you mess around with Medicare dollars with the government. We've been doing this way too long, and I know Eric's been doing this a while. We want everyone to work hard, service your accounts, educate your accounts, but at the end of the day, we want you to take care of your families and keep your money, and so your families are safe and you can go to sleep at night and not have to look over your shoulder. The government picks and chooses certain things to look at, and the wound space is on its way.
Yeah.
We just got to do everything the right way. Eric followed Jeff and my guidelines, and he came up with an incredible protocol for flat fee payments, and I fully support that.
Yeah. This is the deal. We are now going to be the largest force in the country selling billions of dollars of skin grafts to these providers. I mean, it is an order form, it is a sale, but that is not what you're getting paid for. You're not getting paid for the sale or the doctor placing an order. When the OIG and the Department of Justice come knocking on our door and they look at our contract and they see the way that their service fees are being paid out, it is 100% compliant now. When we make these waves in the industry and we would have kept the percentage base, nobody on this call would have kept their money. Completely non-compliant. I can't believe
100%.
other manufacturers are getting away with it, with the percentage-based fees, and they are going to want to find a reason to come knock on your door and take that money back. But with the contract that I am providing you with the system that Larry and Jeff told me that this is the way you are to pay your team, I could not support it more. Let's go over the numbers real quick. This is a Willy Wonka golden ticket. Every single account you walk into, they're going to order from you. There is zero chance that if you're working 10 accounts on a daily basis, like we teach, that you don't get 100 accounts in the next quarter, in the next 3 months. I guarantee you they are out there. They will sign up with you. If they are each only doing 1 patient and each of those patients are getting 4 treatments, at least 4 to 6 treatments, that's the average. You're talking about a $400,000 a month service fee paid to you on a monthly basis. That does not exist anywhere, and it's compliant money that you're not getting paid based on volume. So that is the opportunity here. That is the math. That is I would rather a rep come to me and be upset about a service fee than the OIG or Medicare or the Department of Justice knocking on my door. So the compliant reps that see the opportunity here are going to take full advantage, and the ones that aren't happy with it, you're welcome to go sell a 127 graft somewhere else. But that's the opportunity here, and that is how special this is, to make sure that we all keep the money that we make by doing the right things, and it's all going to be outlined in a contract that you guys. Speaking of which, Chris and Brooke, when is that contract going out? Is it after they go through Lightspeed?
Yes.
So they'll receive that contract after they get the initial, for the new hires, after they go through the first module. Then they'll receive DocuSign after they've completed the exam. And then for all current RX Healing, we're going to do the same thing. So everybody's got to go through that and get the DocuSign.
Yeah, we want everybody to go through Lightspeed, whether you're new or whether you're with us. You got to go through Lightspeed. And everybody, this is another Band-Aid to rip off tonight. There is no hierarchy, there is no override. Now, do you think I'm just going to let that slide? Come on. Like, there's a compliant way to do this thing. There are training fees outlined in your contract that we can pay you for new hires. And in fact, it's going to pay you much quicker and much more. There are plenty of people on here that have reps that have never gotten paid. We are going to pay you a flat fee for those hires. I believe it's set at $500 right now in the contract. There are also addendums in the contract that state that if you are helping somebody service an account, as in somebody that you hired and you're helping them with their account, there are ways to compliantly split those fees between you as long as your services are different. You can't be doing the same things. Each of you have to be servicing that account in different ways to be splitting those fees. So there are all kinds of compliant ways that I was restructuring this for 6 hours straight last night, and my brain was just burnt out. And we've already got it greenlit across every possible attorney's eyes, our partner's eyes. Larry's looked at the contract, ChatGPT, but that doesn't mean anything. I think I already said attorneys. So this is the best way to move forward. This is going to be a true healthcare industry service contract opportunity. Again, not sales, not marketing. We're out educating and servicing accounts and getting a flat rate payment set in advance, not based on volume, not based on percentages. I've always told you guys from day one that we're going to make sure that we're around forever and this is sustainable and this is the next evolution to take it to the next level. And I've always told you that our values will either attract the right people and repel the wrong people. Those are the only two options. So anybody that is on board and loving this, you've got our values. We're synced. Anybody that's uncomfortable with this, you might not be aligned with our values and this might not be a good fit for you. And that's okay, because we don't want you screwing it up for everybody else. So Larry, do you have anything else to talk about? Let's back it up and put the money aside and let's get back to making sure that we properly prepare the reps to do what's compliant, the do's and don'ts. Let's get into maybe more of what the tribe, how we protect the tribal nation and what they
Sure.
do and do not want us doing out in the field.
I've always felt that relationships are best personally. Go in, speak to your accounts, let them know exactly what the graft does, let them know the quality of the graft. The last thing you should ever talk about, like Eric has said many times, is reimbursement. We know there's a business on the other end, but if we do everything right on this end, with patient care, with compliance, with making sure that everything's done the right way, that will absolutely fall into place with no problem. You've already got your marching orders with the social media, the Instagram thing, everything else like that.
Yeah.
I don't honestly, I'm sorry, Erica.
No, I was just going to say, make sure the main thing is that the Tribe Nation doesn't want the name Rampart posted anywhere online. Of course, when we go out with the forms and stuff to the doctors, you're going to have those. It's going to have the Q code
Of course.
and show what the product is. But they do not, this Tribe Nation, I explained it on my team call on Monday of this week. This is a protected sovereign land that if you were to take their picture, they believe that it's you stealing their soul. They don't want
Absolutely.
anything out there online about them whatsoever. We don't want anybody posting saying, oh, we have a deal with the tribal nation so we can get you 2025 price in 2026. We see any crap like that, and it's going to get reported both legally and internally to make sure that you no longer represent RX Healing. So make sure you're not doing any of that stupid crap. And these are conversations to have in person. I've always talked about this as a relational business. You should be going in person or having a phone call with a doctor and either being face to face or over the phone. This is not stuff that I don't want to see it in emails. I don't want to see an email. I don't want to see a text. None of that stuff talking about reimbursement or the name of this graft or the tribal nation. It is a conversation to have face to face or over the phone. And that's it. That's the standard. Anything else needs to be approved through us. Yeah, Larry?
And let me just say one thing. Like Sarika said, it'll take 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks for all of this to iron out, because what's going to happen is the first MAC to take on the 3077 is going to be First Coast. Then because First Coast takes it on, the other MACs cannot not accept it, but it's going to work its way through the system. So Sarika will make that right for all your practices. Do not worry about that. I just don't want you to get phone calls and not know how to handle it. Let them know up front that obviously Medicare is on not on solid ground right now with all of the non-ASP rates that are going on, the 125, the 127, what have you, that it's going to have to work through the system. And Rampart is going to do its thing like it always does. If they have any questions at all, don't feel like you have all the answers. Get them on the phone with Sarika because she does have the answers.
Very cool. Now, Sarika, I always warn new partners that our team is hungry for education and they will blow you up.
No
So
worries. Here to
I-
answer questions.
I would encourage you to have a generic email that you have multiple of your staff, not your direct email, that
Okay.
they can email
It's a great idea.
so that you're not bombarded. Because I don't want you to feel an obligation. You got to reply to hundreds of people. You've got to do your job. And so if you've got a generic email, you can maybe throw in the chat or something, or you can email to me and we'll put it in our resources page. We want people, or I don't know, do you have like an office line that people can call?
I do have an office line where they can
Okay.
call.
Okay, very cool. So, and we're going to need to put some guidelines in place. People can't call and just ask you questions because they're curious. People should only be calling if they've got a provider on the phone or if it's a question on behalf of a provider. If you even smell, Sarika, and please tell your staff this, if you even smell that it's a what if question and it's not a real world question, please tell them, hey, thank you for calling. Get back to RX Healing with your what if questions. Like, feel free to shut that down.
You wouldn't have, I would not take a second to do that. Like, they would hear from me. We work with 100% compliance. So any question which I don't think it needs to be answered will not be answered.
You just hang up on them.
Yes.
That's my go-to move. I just watched that Ghostbusters movie, the one where it was all the girls from Saturday Night Live. And whoever that guy is that played Thor, he plays this stupid receptionist. And
Chris Hemsley?
yeah, Hemsworth.
Whatever.
He answers the phone and he makes a face like this and he just puts the phone down and they go, "Did they hang up?" He goes, "No, I just did not like that conversation." I was like, I like that. So feel free to do that, Sarika, because we want to focus on, unfortunately, there's an 80-20 rule in all the sales, and it's going to be 20% of the people are going to be out there taking this seriously like a career, and 80% are just kind of dip their toe and treat it like a hobby, and they're going to get hobby-like results. So, 80% of the time, just feel free to say you don't like that conversation. Anyhow, Sarika, is there anything else from a billing standpoint that, proper expectations, Larry just hit on it, is important. For the last year and a half that you've been billing this tribal graft, you've been getting reimbursement 7 to 10 days, but it sounds like we need to prepare the providers to say there's going to be some bumps in the road and it might take longer than that.
Yes, I am expecting if the reps are reaching out to the providers to give them a 4 to 5 weeks bump.
4 to 5 weeks for the first ones to go through.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we are trying to get it approved from First Coast. So it can be less, but just to be on the safer side, if they can give 4 weeks.
Okay.
We had just bumps before when we just started with Rampart, and that's why I'm saying with full confidence that I can get it reimbursed.
Okay.
And we can make it through, definitely.
Yeah, that's what Larry told me. He told a provider today. One of my questions from Mr. Surgot was, when a provider doesn't get reimbursed by Medicare, what's your rule? And Larry said, Sarika's guaranteeing that they're getting paid.
I guarantee you. That's why I'm here at the call. I would guarantee you, because we had this before when we started with Rampart. And Rampart is an exceptional graft. So the tribal nations do have, because it's spatial, and that's why they're not letting anybody bill out except me, because there is a spatial way to bill it out.
Yeah.
And we are very, I can say 200% confident that we are going to get paid.
Yeah.
Sarika, correct. I'm sorry, Eric. Sarika, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
It's not that they have to wait 4 to 5 weeks to get reimbursed.
No, they don't.
They're gonna get under reimbursed, and then
Yes.
Sarika's gonna work her magic, and that's how the magic works with the graft.
So they'll get paid something.
They'll get paid something. It will be an underpayment. So I would literally have to call Medicare, and I would have to, there is a form for underpayment, which I would have to submit, and then they'll reimburse at the correct rate.
And then
Now-
Rampart does its job also. Rampart does its job also with
Yes.
CMS. That's how that works.
Right. So a great example of this was when the Sharika started billing this a year and a half ago, still the same way through the tribal nation. Medicare said, we don't know what this is. And they denied like tens of millions of dollars worth of claims.
Yep.
And when Sarika, Larry, and Jeff told the tribal nation, they got excited. They said, "No, we hope it doesn't pay." They filed some starts with a D. What's the word?
Discrimination.
Discrimination um, paperwork towards Medicare that if they didn't pay for this tribal graft, that the repercussions would be times 3 times 10. So $3,000 graft would be 9,000 times 10, 90,000 per graft that they would have had to have paid out. Medicare the very next morning paid those tens of millions of dollars straight to the doctor, not even pending in the Medicare system, just paid them all out the very next morning. So Sarika has been around the block. She's done this before. But again, proper expectations, Sarika. Are we telling doctors that they are going to get reimbursed initially just at the 127, or will it be higher than that?
It can be higher depending on the different max.
Okay.
So, like, but you can, like, the reps can, like, assure the doctor that they will get paid at the correct rate. It can be, like, that they get reimbursed. One can get $127, one can get $115, one can get $1,000. I'm not sure, depending on the max.
Yeah.
But we as a billing company, we assure and we give them the full confidence that it will be paid at the correct rate.
Okay. So there you go. We can give the doctors assurances that they will get paid within 7 to 10 business days. And when there's an underpayment, Sarika will then do additional paperwork with Medicare, which takes an additional 14 to 20 days, it sounds like, after the first payment to then get the rest of the payment. And then it's easy breezy from there. And then it sounds like after this all settles and all the max, it'll just be the full lump payment after the first billing.
That's right.
Got it. Sarika, is there anything else? I will open it up to just my team leaders to make any question or comments, and then we will have Chris and the rest of the team do some training on our HubSpot and Lightspeed that we're rolling out. And I just wanted to respect Sarika and Larry's time by letting them go first, and then we'll let you guys know about the amazing training that we've invested in that you guys can jump into right away after this call. I see my dad and Mark. Dad, you want to go first?
Sure. Just to confirm on the $3,000, the doc gets reimbursed the $2,400. What portion does the doc keep?
Oh, it's off of 100%. They would keep 40%. And
Okay.
so let's just say the old numbers, the 2025 rate was $3,099.43. They would pay $1,859.40 for the graft, for the product.
So easy math, doctor keeps how much?
The doctor sends in 60% of what the 100% reimbursement rate is.
So
Gotcha.
it's the same as we've always done it, Dad. They get a
Sure.
40% discount.
Gotcha. Thank you.
On the prompt pay discount, 45-day prompt pay discount.
Thank you.
45 days. And that's one thing, Larry, I will pat ourselves on the back and say we've got to, all of our service reps are phenomenal at AR and making sure when the doc
That's
gets paid,
fantastic.
that the doctor pays when they get paid. And for your peace of mind, everybody, Sarika does include you on the smart sheet for billing to let you know when your doctor gets paid. That way you can tell doc, hey, Medicare just posted payment, time to send your payment into Rampart. And so
Right.
that will be your job. That will be a part of your service fee, is to make sure that your accounts are paying within that 45-day window. Now, Sarika, it sounds like some of the initial payments are outside of that 45 days. So how are we going to handle that?
When it is like, the underpayments, I would let Project One know that the payments are still pending and they would adjust the invoice accordingly.
Okay, so Rampart will work with them
Yes.
as long as they communicate.
Absolutely. There's no worries in that direction because of this sensitive nature of what's going on.
Okay, cool. Mr. Mark Surgat, this is my right-hand guy, Larry.
Awesome.
Hey, very excited about all of this. I guess first of all, I'm wondering about the MUE, the maximum number of units that can be billed on any given day. Also, the VA and Medicare Advantage.
I think Eric and me had this conversation in Dallas. I did find out it's 189 per square centimeter per day. The MUE is 189.
But you have gone and I think you have had 235 reimbursed, I heard.
That was like, the claim was from December. The new is 189 now.
Okay, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Just want to be very clear on that. It's 189 per
All right.
day. Yes, yeah.
189. Okay. And the VA and Medicare Advantage, anything there? Or should we just be focusing on the
Just
original
going to be focusing on,
red, white, and blue only at this time?
at
Okay.
this time, yeah. And as we as we see the reimbursements coming in, then I think we should go with the Medicare Advantage programs.
That's smart. Yeah, very good. Thanks
Thanks.
for that. Great questions, Mark. Hey, Whitney.
Hey, thank you guys for being on here. This is, we've been excited ever since we talked to Eric on Tuesday. Are you kidding me? We've been like at the edge of our seats. Like, when are we going to know more? And I probably bothered him a few times. I'm not going to lie. Anyways, so thank you guys. I
pleasure.
have one of my reps out in Arizona asked a question just about studies. Will we have access to studies for Rampart?
So this is what I tell people. Well, I could try to sell you I'm from New York, obviously, you probably can't tell.
No.
I could try to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge and tell you it's the Bronx, it's the Throg's Neck. All of the graphs are almost the same in terms of the placenta and the umbilical cord and this and that. I say this: the studies, you can look up and look at all the studies.
Mhm.
We have the inserts that we could send that have all the information regarding the actual graph itself. But I don't know if there's an actual study that I can get to you on Rampart, but I will do my best to find something to satisfy whoever you need.
Okay. No, I think the insert that is perfect. I mean, the fact that it, I guess, has the yellowish tint and has 30% more healing properties. I mean, we've seen amazing results with what we had. We're looking forward to using same with the bites.
And just so you know, we've had the inserts have met the needs for a lot of different people that have been asking for them. There is not a published study right now, but that 30% is not a made up number.
Right.
That is something that they're going to on paper, but that is a real number, and you will find it with your providers that they will in fact corroborate that once they start using the Rampart.
We'll make our own studies. We're good.
Right.
Thank you.
That's a pleasure.
Well, I know you're joking, Whitney, but people are not allowed to create their own anything.
No, I'm saying
Right.
our doctors will, right? We'll work with you
Got
guys
it.
to make our own.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do.
So, and there is going to be a one pager. Again, next steps, we expect everybody to go through our Lightspeed training, sign the contract, and get down to compliance this weekend through our LMS system, and to understand HubSpot that Chris is going to go through for you to be able to track your leads. We're investing and paying in all these systems. You don't have to pay to sign up to be a part of RX Healing. You don't have to pay to, get access to HubSpot and Lightspeed and to get a company email. We invest in all of that and all of you, hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. Not to mention the millions of dollars that we're paying in the staff just to support you guys. So there's no fee for you guys, but we expect you to take full advantage and go through that. And then come Monday, I'll make sure that Gavin and I get together to create a compliant one pager form that doesn't mention anything about Rampart or the reimbursement, but talks about the efficacy of the product that I'll get Larry and Sarika and Jeff to sign off on. And then we'll have something in your hands, but it's got to be something that still is not a leave behind. You cannot leave this with the doctors because then you're marketing. We are just there to educate. So we'll make sure that's crystal clear and give you guys still tools to use in the field, because we still have to have something to educate these providers as we service these accounts. I think Larry I see him nodding his head.
Oh, absolutely. It's 100%.
I actually just said that without his approval, but I knew that based on our conversations that he would be
Right.
game. I don't see any other hands up. So if there aren't any other questions for this, I might ask Larry and Sarika as a favor to possibly be on my Q&A tomorrow if it fits their schedules. We will. I think I'll be able to handle it mostly on my own tomorrow morning. But I don't know, Larry, we might do it. Shoot, when's my flight tomorrow? Brooke, do you know when my flight is tomorrow? Page.
I thought it was in the afternoon. Was it around 1?
I think so. So we'll probably do like we'll probably do the same thing. We'll probably do like a noon EST Q&A call tomorrow for an hour to answer any burning questions about what we just covered. Mark, you got one more?
One more.
No problem.
He's we call it what, JMOT? No, JOMT. Just one more thing. We got an acronym for it. It's his catchphrase.
Gotta love Columbo. That's right. So let's say it's a Noridian claim. It will get billed out at 3077 on the dot. Okay. Okay. And then the price would be 60% of that. Okay. Got it.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mark.
Good question.
So again, we'll answer Q&As tomorrow, but Sarika and Larry, if you've got any words of wisdom to sign off, you're welcome to stick around, but we're going to jump into our HubSpot and Lightspeed training. So, I know you've got families and other work you got to get to, but you have, Sarika, any last words of encouragement?
No.
Or
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this.
you got 438 people in here hungry to go service and take care of people. So
We are here to serve you. We are here for patient care, and I'll be doing my best to get everybody reimbursed.
we appreciate you, Sarika. Larry?
Thank you.
It's just an absolute pleasure allowing us to take up your valuable time. Eric, thank you for the invitation. It's been wonderful. We look forward to working with all of you for a very long time, and I really can't wait to hear of your successes because they're going to be many and for a long time.
Let's give him one golden nugget, Larry. Jeff has guaranteed me it's just a matter of him picking the right stem cell that we're going to have a reimbursable stem cell covered by Medicare at $5,000 a unit come second quarter, right?
Well, and that, listen, don't tell anybody, just stays amongst us.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell your friends. We're working on something very special. And then I know Eric will tell you about the technology because that's pretty special itself. But
All right.
it's
What is it? The Meta?
the Cyber Health AI. It's the software. MetaQuest 3.
MetaQuest, yeah. So I'll be honest with you guys. Larry was telling me about this technology, about how it can like measure wounds and stuff. And I'm like, dude, apps on the App Store do that on the phone. So when I walk into the hotel, thank God I had that date, Larry, to stay the extra day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. And I'm going
to thank her.
Yeah, right. So Larry pulls out the headset, and I'm like, all right, let me put this thing on. And it's AR. It's not VR, right? It's augmented reality where I can still see the room.
Yes.
And I can see the patient, I can see the wound, but I can see the patient's chart up here.
Like Iron Man's mask.
Yeah, and I've got a little stylus to measure the wound over here, and it's recording the whole thing. It's recording the patient, it's recording the measurements, it's recording the date. It's making sure that everything is documented, and then I click save on it, and then it goes poof into the little patient's file. And so this is going to be technology that we're going to have available to us to sell to our providers to make sure that their documentation, their conservative treatment, that they're doing things compliantly, and again, that they're defensible come an audit where they can just pull up these files and be like, here you go. And then Medicare is going to say, you did it the right way, you can keep your money. So that's what we're all about here, is protecting the provider. And thanks to Larry patented this like 2 years ago.
It was a 2-year process. I mean, we filed for a utility patent this past year, so we're waiting on it, but we don't see any. I mean, it's going to be amazing. It's pretty incredible.
It's another $1 billion deal. So we've got the grafts now, we've got technology coming, we've got stem cells coming, and this is all thanks to our partnership with Larry, Jeff, Sarika, this tribal nation. It's all things worth doing compliantly, doing the right way. It is different. I know. Believe me, my staff was about to throw up this morning when I sent them the contract. They're like, Eric, I'm like, we got to do it. I'm like, this is the right thing to do. We're going to do it. And it's hard. Go read any motivational quote and it's going to talk about, successful people do the hard thing when it's hard to do. That's what we had to do today. And it's so much more, it's so much different doing it than reading a motivational quote and feeling all good about it. This is living it. We are doing the hard thing, but we're doing the right thing. And it's going to pay off well for us long into the future so that the feds don't come knocking at your door. So let's keep us all protected, doing the right thing. Let's do it compliantly. And we'll work very closely beside Sarika, Larry, Jeff, and the tribal nation, along with Rampart, to make this the best year we've ever had. We literally have a legal monopoly on the market with a golden ticket to walk into these doctors' offices, earn their business, service them, and get these patients healed up 30% faster than any other graft on the market. So, Larry, Sarika, thank you so much for being here.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
You
Thank you,
guys have
sir.
a great night.
You
You
too.
Thank you
too.
so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Chris, your time to shine. We what would flow better, Chris? You guys know the HubSpot Lightspeed better. Do you want to start with HubSpot or you want to start with Lightspeed?
I think Lightspeed just because HubSpot comes after anyway, so
Let's
we'll
do
go
it.
ahead with Lightspeed first.
All right, guys. While Chris is pulling that up and sharing his screen, I'm going to preface this a little bit. I'll go ahead and I'm allowing it, Chris.
Go, Chris.
I'll allow it. Lightspeed VT. I believe we've got Bradley on here somewhere. Brad created this technology, this platform that is white labeled to RX Healing specifically. You guys are gonna, Chris, do we want to start from the beginning, show the onboarding before they're logged in here?
Go through the whole process?
Well, not the whole process. We just start on the first process and then log in, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So Chris is going to show you the beginning onboarding link here. Hey, look at that guy. I don't even know what this is. I haven't seen this. Again, I don't like rewatching videos that I'm in. Like, I'll call Mark and there'll be a training video in the background. I hear me talk. I'm like, dude, pause that. I can't talk to you and listen to myself. So you guys are going to get access to Lightspeed VT. This is your onboarding process. You're going to watch this video and Chris is going to explain the process. Chris, you take it away.
Yeah, you watch the video, simple, sign up your email here. And then you'll have to click Lightspeed module after this pop up with Brooke. You'll have to go through a number of questions to pass. At that time, after you pass that, you'll have another 1 or 2 questions, which then will take you to, if you pass through all that, it'll take you to Lightspeed. Immediately, it'll redirect you to Lightspeed. And then there's going to be an onboarding test on Lightspeed. At that point, you pass through Lightspeed, that onboarding, the exam after, there's a 10-question exam. You get at least 90% on that. You're going to get a welcome email from RX Healing through your email. You're going to get access to the resources and all the other trainings through Lightspeed. You'll get full access through Lightspeed. And there's also all our resources in Lightspeed. So you'll get all that through email and through all the training in there. So,
and just so our current reps and prospective reps understand, there is still a hierarchical structure here. So you still will need the rep number of the person that recruited you because they still will get paid for helping train and onboard you. It's just not going to be based on any actual sale. It's actually going to pay them in a lot of instances more and more frequently and faster than they would if it was based on federal tax dollars. So again, take our contract, throw it into ChatGPT, ask it to how it would hold up under an OIG or a DOJ scrutiny or investigation. And you are the right person with our values will feel at home and feel at peace, like you can sleep well at night because you'll see that it holds up very strong against those things and make sure that we're paying you. So there is still a hierarchical structure, but it's not, the money does not flow from Medicare tax dollars for those overrides. So make sure you get that number in order to go through the Lightspeed process, the person that invited you. And then once you get in, this is the type of platform you'll have access to do your continuing education. We're going to be in Vegas filming in Brad's studio every single month, bringing out new trainings about this tribal deal, about the stem cells coming out, about open loop and the RPM deal coming out when they're ready to launch that either next Thursday or the following. There's just going to be constantly new content being added in here. And as it is added in your contract per the service fees, you will be required to complete that training each month to qualify for your service fees. If you do not stay up to date on the training, you're a contractor. You don't have to be on these calls live, but you do have to at least watch the recording in that month. And if you don't qualify for your service fees. We want to make sure all of our reps listen to all of our training, complete all of our compliance, and are actively involved so that they are not doing any shortcuts in the field and saying anything that's either outdated or not compliant. So this this will be very much required for you to be involved. So Chris, once they log in, where should they go?
Yeah, and just to add on real quick, I know Brad might be on here. I don't know if you want to have him help out at any point, but I think he's in the waiting room if you wanted to look at that. But
Well,
um,
I see a Brad, but it just says Brad. I don't know if that's Brad Lee.
That's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Are you sure?
Yep.
All right. Well, if this is a different Brad, you're getting booted. If that's Brad Lee, I just promoted you to panelist, bro. So go ahead and just accept that little deal. It says Brad declined to be promoted. Maybe that's not.
maybe he doesn't want to talk.
Maybe he doesn't want to talk. All right.
All right. Well, anyway, this is the home page. So in here we have a number of tabs. So you got your training center, you have your leaderboard, you have your report card, your file vault. Your file vault is where all your resources are going to be. So we'll go over to the training center to start here. And in this page, we'll have all of our sales training, our provider training, our provider skin graft training, our brand training for marketing. We even have our live call links on these pages. And then I think the coolest thing is that this RX Healing interactive role play that they have, that Lightspeed had and provided, is an AI role play system where you can go in, and I've tried this, and just, you know how you go out every week that Eric wants everyone to go out and talk to 10 providers each week. This is a great tool to use, to talk, to fail, and to get better talking to an AI. They really challenge you. So I highly recommend using that. So going back here, go back here. We also have our file vault. This is where you guys will have access to our resources, such as our RX Remote Care, our RX Exosomes, RX Grafts, our RX Wound, which all that tribe grafts will be in. RX Medical Devices. We'll have our company policies and marketing material in there. And then HubSpot. We'll have our HubSpot training material and resources in there as well.
Well, so Chris, right now I believe you're saying it will be in there. A lot of it is at rxhealing.com/resources, or is it all in here now?
So for right now, they're both in both.
So it
They're
is
both.
all in here.
Yeah.
We got everything moved over. Okay, very cool. So when you click on HubSpot, is that going to be the video that teaches them how to track and manage their leads?
Correct. So if I clicked on this, it'll take you to a Google Drive. There's some pre-recorded training videos from Romina, and there's also the rules of engagement that I can go over if you'd like. But that kind of goes over the policies of HubSpot. I'll go over that when we get to HubSpot next.
Very cool.
Okay, and then another cool tool, we got the leaderboard. Let's see. You can check who's on top. Looks like myself is on top right now.
Go, Chris.
And then up here, we have an option up here, the community. This is where you guys can engage with each other. We
This
want
looks
to go
awesome.
You get the ability to collaborate and discuss together and share ideas and thoughts and all those fun things.
Hey,
Yeah,
look, I'm
so-
on there. Number 4.
We're going to start definitely
Not
making
liking
sure that we're
that.
doing some posts in there as well, Eric.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
we'll get some company-wide emails or messages in the community. So you'll get notifications up here. This little microphone up here, you'll see when you guys have notifications, company announcements.
Did we ever talk to Cher about getting an app to be able to send out push notifications? If not, let's throw
not
that
sure.
on the agenda to ask her.
We haven't yet,
I
but
think
I did add Cher to the call just so she can listen in if you'd like.
Oh, she's on here?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to add her in right now.
Very cool.
That'd be awesome.
All right, what's next, Chris?
Well, do we want to get into HubSpot or do you want to wait on Share for a moment?
Well, we can jump into HubSpot while we're waiting on her.
Sounds good.
Go ahead. I'm getting her the link right now, guys.
Well, it says podcast coming soon. We got the podcast out, so let's throw that link in there.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys want to go to HubSpot?
Yes, please.
You
So
see the
what
screen?
so what happens, Chris? Tell me the whole process. So they go through the onboarding,
Yeah.
they get the DocuSign contract after they complete the onboarding. After they sign the contract, then they'll get access to Lightspeed. When do they get access to HubSpot here?
Yeah, so during that same process, you guys will also, the email that you guys originally signed up with, you will, after you complete signing the DocuSign, you will get an automated RX Healing email sent to your email that you signed up with to then set up your RX Healing email. You'll have that, and then at that time, you'll also get your welcome email that includes the HubSpot login.
Got it. So it'll be in the same email.
Correct.
In order to sign up for HubSpot. Now, Chris, since our focus right now, I see you've got some pharmacies here, and that's going to be super important for OpenLoop. But OpenLoop, for anybody who's not aware, we talked about graphs this whole call and the opportunity there. OpenLoop also pays a flat service fee of $10 per month per patient. It is again extremely compliant. Check on ChatGPT on why it's compliant in the way that we pay it. But for any patients serviced, a lot of these pharmacies have thousands of patients that want to get on board with a program called RPM, Remote Patient Monitoring. What that does is it allows the provider to monitor that patient's vitals when they're not in the four walls of that doctor's office. 99% of the time, they're in their home or they're out and about. This allows the doctor to monitor their vitals through different devices that we send them at no cost to the patient and at no cost to the doctor. Now, it's very important to use at no cost. This is not free. It's taxpayer dollars. It's covered by Medicare. So we can say at no cost to them, but there is our contract with OpenLoop. They are covering the cost of those devices. And we provide this turnkey opportunity to monitor these patients' vitals covered by Medicare to help catch any potential sickness, illness, or injury before it happens while the patient is at their home. And this data gets fed back to their either primary care doctor or to their pharmacist. And we use that as a way to reach more patients going to pharmacies because they're really the central point of all of that patient's healthcare needs. Whereas they might have 9 specialists, but they all fill the medications typically in one spot. So they've got a unique advantage to see that patient's full care plan. So what we do is we go out to these pharmacies. We tell them, hey, we want to help you monitor these patients as long as you review data and you do your clinical work and report that back to our clinical care team. The pharmacy will get paid a flat fair market fee value service fee, as well as the rep will get paid a flat rate fee. So that is something that we will be rolling out in the next week or two. Once that patient gets onboarded and they get serviced in say January now, OpenLoop takes 45 days at the end of at the close of the month to pay us, and then we pay you 2 weeks later. So it's a 3 or 4 month, turnaround for getting compensated versus 2 weeks with the skin graft deal. So highly recommend you focus on that first, and then when OpenLoop and Tenovi have our trifecta contract finished. Again, they've already sent me the proposal. I already know the rates. The attorneys are just putting the finishing strokes on the contract. They expect it to be done by next Thursday or the following one. But the focus here needs to be to take advantage of our tribal graft deal, which leads me to my comment, Chris. I know we've got a lot of pharmacy leads in here that reps can assign to themselves, no more than 10 in the contacting phase. But how most reps now with this new no competition deal to sell a tribal graft out there, most reps are just going to go to doctors near them. And then they're going to want to add those leads manually themselves. So let's use that as the first example here of adding a generic MD, family practice medicine or nurse
Of
practitioner.
course. Yeah, we definitely want to encourage you guys to upload your own self-source leads. We put a number in here for everyone. There's there's a variety of providers, not just pharmacies, that are nearby that you guys can search based on your city, postal code, anything like that. But we'll start with creating manually. You're only this page right here is your company's page, which you can access right here. This is going to be your guys' bread and butter where you guys are going to be in mostly. As you can see here from this Kanban view, you can view all the lead opportunities on the left side here. As Eric was talking about on the prospecting, no more than 10 at one time. And then after that, you're contacting them, meeting with them, getting the contracts sent, and then closing them as a customer.
So let me emphasize on that. No more than 10 in prospecting, meaning we don't want people hoarding leads. We go out and we buy and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on data for you to be able to assign leads yourself from our system that we've paid for. We don't want you going and hoarding, 50 leads just on the prospecting. As long as you have put in notes that you've actually contacted them and moved them forward, you can work as many leads as your heart desires. But as long as you're actually contacting and working them, and based on the service contract you're going to receive from us, we are going to have our staff monitoring each HubSpot account to make sure that a rep is actively working 10 accounts on a weekly basis. So that's actually a minimum that we require. I have a standard. When I started in this industry, I lead from the front. I don't ask anybody to do anything that I didn't do. My mom can attest to this. When I started in this business, my car got repoed and she was driving me around to accounts to doctor's offices. And I would go out to a minimum. I would put 10 and I would put them in Google Maps and I would route them for the most efficient route so I could get to at least 10 in a day. And I would do that every single day, set up lunches, do all kinds of stuff. Had absolutely no money. The power in my house kept getting turned off, but I was going out there and I was still doing 10 accounts on a daily basis. So that is what we expect at a bare minimum, to do 10 in a week in order for you to still get your service fees. But if you want to go out and treat this like a real career, I recommend doing a minimum of 10 a day. And with our, back then I was just doing labs. I was just selling lab stuff, lab testing, blood tests, to nursing homes. And they were really spread out all across the city of Indianapolis from one side to the other. And I was still doing 10 in a day. Now that we have so many different provider types, you can get, there's different, like Dad and Carmel, there's different medical centers where you've got 10 doctors in the same office space. You can hit up 10 different specialists, in an hour in some areas. So do not limit yourself, but do not hoard either. Just wanted to drive that home, Chris.
Yeah. And to add on to that, not only that, but the most important thing is this is a compliant industry. We need to be documenting every meaningful interaction, logging calls, meetings, emails, notes, so that, you know, we are staying compliant and you're protecting yourself and the company.
Exactly. When an audit comes, this is where they are going to look to see what those conversations look like, make sure there were no enticements, no bribes. You can't tell a doctor, hey, I'm going to drop off some tickets to the Colts game for you on Sunday. I got great seats. You can't do any of that crap. There is no exchange of goods for value or for a sale. So you've got to do this strictly based on our products meet medically necessary needs that your patients have. We believe our products to be the best ones to achieve those goals for you. And talking about the price and reimbursement after that fact is something that provider needs, but you cannot lead with it. You cannot make it a focal point of your servicing of that account. What's next,
Yeah.
Chris?
And this is tracking for business level interactions only. If you put any patient, HubSpot is HIPAA compliant, no patient information, nothing like that, or else you'll be immediately terminated. All right, creating the company, top right here, orange button. This is how you create your manual lead. And it's very simple. Company domain, that's just the website. If they have one, it is not required. Company name, and then it automatically populates to you as the owner.
Chris, wrong company.
It's an example, Eric.
And then we're requiring the phone number. That's to prevent duplicates. So phone number is a requirement.
So this is when they're adding their own lead. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Gotcha.
So it's
Very
validating that it hasn't been duplicated. So that's a good thing for everyone. Industry, not required. Highly recommend entering that. City, state, etc.
very cool. Just throwing your home address there.
I'm gonna not do that.
We all want to see it.
What's the zip code into? Okay. And you can always create and add another. If you got multiple, you guys got to catch up on some work. You guys can add multiple right then and there. And then it will pop up right here for you. Okay. So now on this site, this is where you are able to document your notes. You can actually tie in your email, your ARC Healing email into HubSpot so that you can actually send emails, and we'll have a training video on that. Or it's really easy to look up online how to do it. You can tie in your ARC Healing email, and it will actually send emails and keep track so you guys don't have to copy and paste over. Same things with calls. You guys can tie that in. You guys can create meetings and tasks. If you have 10 leads going and you need to reassign, hey, I need to check up back on this lead in a few days, you can reassign yourself tasks.
Very cool.
Okay? And all this will track. Any questions there?
No, there is another video that is in Lightspeed too. There's a not that you didn't do a thorough job here, but an even more thorough video explaining this in Lightspeed. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. So in Lightspeed, all going down into the weeds, Romina did a great job of creating some videos, showing everybody where to go. You know, on this right side, you guys can add contacts of your provider, whoever you're working with. So yeah, we did do that.
Very cool. No, I'll put it up to the team leaders if they want to raise their hands to ask any questions about Lightspeed or HubSpot. All right. Well, I think we're good. So, guys, I expected to have a couple hours on this call, but since we're not rolling out open loop and we're just starting with our tribal graft and Lightspeed and HubSpot. Hey, Romina, thanks for being here. So is it Romina that we're gonna see in the training videos?
Yeah, she's talking over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Romina has a lot of experience with HubSpot. So Romina, thanks for doing those videos for us. We want to make sure that you are prepared to be successful in either a new industry or an industry you've already been in, but is much different. Just like Mark, who's got his hand raised. He's always got one more thing. Love him for it, though. That's why he does such a great job with us. The questions are the answers, baby. You know, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions, and the dude's got some quality questions. So I want to emphasize here that we are a much different healthcare industry and service contractors than you've seen anywhere in anything else. Mark, his prior life was at Medtronic, and then coming here, night and day difference. But he became our #1 rep within his first full year. Very quickly surpassed everybody. So he's able to learn a new system quickly, and then all we had were just phone calls and random Google Meets and marketing materials that looked like were made on Canva. And now we've got Gavin, our phenomenal brand strategist, and all of these back office staff and employees that are making pristine looking websites and the Lightspeed and the interactive modules. We didn't even show the interactive modules, Chris, but you know, reps are going to get they're going to get a taste of that when you get into Lightspeed, where it's going to be someone like Mark talking in front of a green screen, asking you a question with the answers on the screen, and you're going to be able to touch the answer. And if you touch the wrong one, Mark's going to say, it's not the right answer, and this is why. Try again. So it is just, man, I wish you guys were here 3 years ago, but I'm so glad you weren't, because most of you probably wouldn't have made it. But now we've got all of the support and training in place to make sure you're successful, holds you by the hand, tells you exactly what's right, what's wrong, what to do next, where to track your leads. Soon we've got another software program coming out at the end of March, beginning of March sometime, where you guys are going to be able to track and view your commission statements and new hires and all that good stuff as well. So, Mark.
Thanks so much. Yes, I think I got the gist for new hires. But for people that have been on board for a while, so that we don't create new rep numbers and all that, as far as going through the process, maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Chris, how are we protecting the current rep numbers?
So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Colton's still on. You can just put your own ID in. So if you already have your whatever your current ID is in, you can put that as your current ID.
Or who hired us, maybe?
Correct.
Or
We still have the data, Mark. I think actually now I'm thinking about it, we still have all that. So why don't you guys just put in any number 00001, just put Eric's in, and we have all that already tracked. So it actually doesn't matter.
What I think what Mark is saying is he's not going to get an email, an automated email with a new rep ID.
That's a good point. I think you can put your current one. Is Colton not on?
Colton?
I know that he was, I think right before this he was driving. I don't know if he still
Well,
was.
So Mark, there is a way to bypass it for reps that are currently with us. We can send you a link that bypasses the initial onboarding values video. We will want you to take it, but Chris, what we'll probably do is we'll manually send the DocuSign to all of our current reps. We'll have them do the onboarding video, but they just won't fill out the onboarding form.
Yeah.
And then we'll send them the link that skips that form to get them direct access into Lightspeed.
Yeah, we can do it that way.
okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Mark, thanks for bringing that up. That's a good point.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all.
You got it, man. Whitney?
Hey, just a question, because we've had a couple interviews this week and they were asking about the process just to make sure. So from now on, are they gonna, I know that we are approving them or your internal team, are the internal teams approving them before they send out an email? So I guess they would go through the questions, press submit. They wait until you guys approve them internally and then you all send out the exam, or it was the exam. So now will you guys send out speed training instead? Is that how it's going to go? And how long does it take? I've got one told me today, Eric, she's like, I am of the mentality of you kill what you eat. And I was like, okay, you're perfect. Let's go. But the point is she's very anxious. And so how long is it until, you guys are getting back to the reps that put in their questions or submit their questions with the either exam link or with the link to the Lightspeed training?
Yeah, it's automated. So at this point in time right now, they can go in and there is no more wait time for approving them previously, but it is now automated where you get through those modules and you pass through, and then you get to the Lightspeed onboarding training and you pass, you will then get to the next step of the DocuSign. So
Okay.
it's a matter of them, how long they take from now, as
Okay.
long as how long it takes them to get through the training.
Well, so what about so the onboarding link actually takes them to questions that they have to put in. Do you know what I'm talking about? The onboarding link we give to new hires takes them to those questions. They have to fill out those questions. Then
Yep.
they submit. That's what I'm talking about.
So they answer the questions, and right now, after they answer the questions, it automatically, as of right now, it's going to
Okay.
redirect them right to Lightspeed right away.
Oh, that's awesome. Perfect. That answers that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, there's no manual interaction. Once they go through the process, they're getting the DocuSign. Once they sign the DocuSign, they're getting access to Lightspeed.
Okay. Is there any way you guys, because I've got a couple of them that went through the onboarding process and they still haven't received anything.
Lightspeed just launched today. They haven't gone through it yet.
Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Everybody's going to get access in an email that has applied to go
Okay.
through the Lightspeed process. When is that email going out, Chris? For the Lightspeed onboarding?
It's going to go out tonight.
Perfect. So anybody that is in the woods wondering what's next, hey, I applied. I want to get onboarded. I want to get access. There's going to be a company-wide email that goes out to all of you, any new hires to go through the Lightspeed process. Any current reps are going to get a manual link to bypass the initial onboarding. Chris, when can we send that link out to the current reps? to bypass?
To bypass. Let me check with Colton, but I would assume there's nothing wrong with sending out the DocuSigns tonight.
Okay. I mean, are you able to do a math? I mean, we got
I think
1,500
so.
people. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody should have everything tonight, but by worst case scenario, it'll be tomorrow morning before the Q&A call at noon. Noon Eastern time. I'm going to do a Q&A for an hour before I fly out. I'll probably just do it on the plane. Yeah, I think that's best. And then we'll just take off after the call. Okay, team leaders, any other questions? All right. I highly recommend you guys all go through the contract going out tonight. It is different, and it's uncomfortable, and for anybody that's been with us and it's new. But I promise you, trust me, you've trusted me this long. It is going to be better than anything we've ever had before. The opportunity is better than it's ever been before. And we've never been more protected. We've never had more people in DC, now the freaking CIA, the FBI. We've never had more people on our side advising me, Eric, this is what you need to do. And that's why I went down to Dallas today. And those guys, again, he said he had a 90% guarantee that he was not going to do business with me, the human lie detector from the CIA. And after we talked, we shook hands. He was like, let's do this. He was like, you're the real deal. He's telling me, he started telling me about body language and all this other stuff, and where he tells people, to go pound sand. And so it was an honor for him to be able to see my character and heart, that we're genuine and real, and we're compliant. We're ready to do the right thing. And this was all based on their direction on what this contract looks like. So take a look at it, review it, throw into ChatGPT, try to cut it at any angle you want. But this is the most protected, compliant way to move forward to take care of the most people. And it just so happens that when you help more people, you make more money. What's up, Todd?
Hey, Eric. Thanks, mate. Yeah, just if you can touch on exclusivity, semi-exclusive. I know we've sort of mentioned both a little bit. I don't know if it's finalized yet or not. But
is what finalized?
Just the exclusivity component of that. Where is there anyone else offering it at all? Or
let me read a text from Larry that was just sent to me 13 minutes ago. He was just on at the beginning of this call. He said, Eric, I just spoke to the manufacturer. This is very important. Please make it clear in your call that Project One prepaid for millions and millions of dollars of Rampart inventory. Project One currently holds the inventory. There are no other distributors out there that can buy Rampart, and Project One is working off of inventory that was previously purchased. There's plenty of pre-purchased inventory, no worries at all. They can do 400 square centimeters a month. That's very important to say to your people. I can explain to you later. So I've heard 19 different stories this week. People messaging me on social media, emailing me, texting me. Oh, we got this, we've got access to this. They're all full of shit. There is a single other distributor that has access to Rampart or this tribal deal other than us. And when I sat down with Jeff, the owner of Premier One, he said, look, Eric, we don't need you. We don't need anybody else. We have the relationships with the doctors. And we even tell doctors, if they're not compliant, that they can go pound sand. If they're not doing, he said, he's turned down $75 million a month and tens of thousands of square centimeters if the doctors aren't doing things the right way. So yes, as of right now, he was not going to take on any distributors. I was the first and only one, and they are the only ones that have the inventory from Rampart on the shelves that's going out from Premier One. So yes.
Perfect. Love the answer, mate. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you, Todd. All right, guys, we'll put out a Q&A. Sit on this, go through Lightspeed, sleep on it, look at the contract. Let's talk during the Q&A tomorrow. I'm a wide open book. That's why I put myself out there and vulnerable for you guys to ask anything you want tomorrow with everybody. I don't care who it is, team leader or not. I'll take all your questions tomorrow. So we'll send out a company-wide email to anybody that has gone through the onboarding link. That's the only way you get on our email blast. So if you're like, why didn't I get an email? It's because you didn't send us an email. So make sure to go through the Lightspeed onboarding process tonight. I'll see you on the Q&A tomorrow. And I can't wait to go service some providers next week. It's going to be the best week of our lives. Thank you, guys. Great call. We'll see you tomorrow.